T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women share to be bold and take risks. The talks, women say what they feel and mean what
A moment there.
I think it was a really long
leaving
week
your
this week.
power, so much power. Yeah. The talks where women share.
What's going on, everybody? It is Vault Talks Women Share. I don't know about you guys, but it has seemed like we have been gone for like about 3-4 years. And it's only been since October since we've been gone. But super excited about tonight's topic. Super excited about these amazing new co-hosts that are now a part of the Vault Talks family. But before I go and ramble, my name's Takara Nicole, aka the Identity Architect. Super excited that you guys are here, and we have a major announcement here in a few. But we're gonna go ahead and introduce ourselves. We're gonna kick this off with the one and only Christian Sargent. Let me tell y'all about her. I met this jewel some years back, and I have been following her ever since. One, her mama lived right down the street around the corner from where I live. Two, her passion about entrepreneurship attracted me in such a major way. And three, I love pancakes. So Christian Sargent is our major guest for the evening. I'm so thankful. I have been waiting for this interview for at least a year, some change. It took me some major confidence to be like, I'm just gonna go ahead and ask her if she's gonna be a part. I feel like I'm a part of her family anyways. I follow her all the time. I know what she's doing, and I appreciate her being on the platform tonight. So, Christian, tell us a little bit about who you are quickly, and then we're going to do a roundtable. I'm going to introduce my two new co-hosts to the family, and then we're going to come back and talk about entrepreneurship is her ship.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. It is a pleasure to be here. And thank you for shooting your shot. I always tell people to do that. So shoot your shot, put it out there, make your request known. That's the only way that you get to what you desire. So I appreciate you for doing that. I am Christian Sargent, the co-founder and the CEO of Vicky Cakes, pancake and waffle mix. I am a mother. I am a wife of two. No, I'm not a wife of two husbands. Child wife is one. I'm a mother of two. I'm a mother of two and a wife to my amazing husband and co-founder and business partner, Courtney Sargent. And we reside in the Dallas, Texas area where we manufacture our products. And yeah, we're bringing families back to the table all around the world with what we love to call the heart of breakfast.
Yes. So we're going to get into her story a little bit more, which is so dynamic. It's inspirational. And I felt as that she was the perfect guest to talk about entrepreneurship is her ship because she's doing her thing. I've been following her since I've been introduced to her. And I'm so impressed by, she's a real deal Holyfield type of sister. You know, she's making big moves, but she's still approachable. She's still hilarious. You know, you are on a live with her. She's typing and interacting back with you. It's really neat because some people, when they get to a certain place in space, they act like they're holier than thou. They're untouchable. And this is not that sister. And I appreciate that about you. So we're going to move to Jennifer Sanchez, who is one of my newest co-hosts with Vault Talks Women Share. Hey. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do. You already know I love you to pieces. God is very instrumental on how he connects his sisters and daughters and everybody else. So thank you so much for accepting the invite to be a part of this amazing movement. So who are you?
Oh no, thank you to Car and thank you to all the other ladies here. I'm super excited. I wish I had your energy because right now I'm sitting here like, how you got all this energy right now, right? But I gotta be mindful. I got 3 kids, right? So I'm like, I know, like you slower, you know what I'm talking about. All the mamas know what I'm talking about. You just like burnt out by the end of the day, like, bro. But so who am I? My name is Jennifer Sanchez. I'm the founder of the Women's Institute of Self-Development and Efficacy. I know that's super long, just call it WISE for short. We provide and help women become unshakable, faith-filled, and purpose-driven through personal, professional, and business development. So I'm big on retreats and conferences and workshops and membership communities. And the great thing is predominantly most of the women we serve are minorities, professional, entrepreneurial. So I love the fact that I love to highlight, minority women. I love to highlight women in general. Like that's my thing. And for me, I could sit in the behind the scenes and put the spotlight on everyone else. Like you, Takar. Like it's not about me. For me, this is purpose. It's all about God. It's all about faith. I just bring exposure to the women and let God do his work.
Amen. Yes. And she's amazing. My partner in crime and I have a program called Dream Scribers that we started last year. It was thought of in 2019, but we birthed it last year. And it's basically a program where we help the youth and incarcerated become published authors. And not one of her daughters, but 2 of her daughters are now published authors because of the program. And so one of them is like, she's a little baby girl, has this whole big vision about the story of the life of a lion, where she's telling us about the life of how, we grow up and how we get old. And I'm like, little girl, how do you know about life? And I mean, it was really neat. And so her daughters are doing big things as published authors now. And that was the avenue that we connected. So you never know how God connects his people. And it's so dope. We're going to go to Michaela Perry. Who are you? Growth Spurt.
Well, hi. Thanks for having me. I am super excited as well. Stepping outside my comfort zone a little bit. I am a wife, a mother of 4 total. And right now, I am just transforming. So I've been in the insurance field for the past 20 years. I teach insurance online right now. But right now, I'm just kind of trying to figure out what my next big move is going to be. I ain't got no kids at home right now.
Woo-wee.
So I could just do me.
Hey.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out is what am I going to do next?
Okay. That's awesome. I like the way you said that. I love it. So we're going to go to Kingston, Jamaica. Come on, Kingston, Jamaica.
Hey everyone, Chakara, at some point in time, do you think you might stop saying it like that?
Nope, never.
Okay. Hi everyone, I am Sharika Swaby, and I'm also a mom of 2, which are on vacation as of today. So I am so thrilled right now. Well, I miss them, but I'm thrilled I get some time to just relax and recoup and re-strategize and just get my head. I was lying down there today thinking, this is so weird because for so long it's been just us. So I'm looking forward to 2 weeks by myself to just relax and, show myself some love. But I'm also, as I said, I'm Sharika Swaby. I'm also known as the Mind Reset Strategist. I am a alignment coach, published author, speaker, and I host the show called Conversations with Sharika, usually aired on Instagram. The idea behind that show is to show people that it doesn't matter where they are, they can come back. It's not the end. So that's what's going on. I'm going to turn it into a podcast. And locally here in Jamaica, I am strategizing around getting a program in school with parents and teachers called the I Am Initiative, where I want to teach self-esteem and so on and so on and so on. So I've been living under a rock for years, and now I'm crawling out, and it's so exciting. And I'm so looking forward to what the future holds. So that's a little bit about me, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Absolutely. All right, Rika.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Loud and clear. Clear and loud.
Awesome.
All
Awesome.
right.
Well, my name is Rika Wright. I am a mom, single mom of one amazing young man, Elijah. He's an artist. Been homeschooling him for the past 3 years, and he just went back to middle school. So that's been an exciting little journey there. He's loving school. I'm ex-Navy, did 4 years in the Navy. Aviation, electronics is my background. And got out the Navy and didn't know what on earth to do. I was lost. Okay. So being in the Navy and civilian is like two different worlds. But I found entrepreneurship and I was like, okay, this is me. And so right now I have a credit repair business where I help people to improve their score, also increase their income, and just make sure that, coming out of this pandemic, a lot of things shifted. And so I definitely want to help a lot of people just get back on their feet. And so I've been seeing, especially over this past year, a lot of people have been wanting to purchase homes, stop renting, and the list goes on and on. So that's what I do. And I'm so happy to be here with you guys tonight. Can't wait to hear more about you, Christian.
Yes. So what we do on Vault Talks Women Share, we're a platform where women come together and learn more and share more about matters that pertain to their world. So it's indeed on this platform where we talk about relationships, entrepreneurship, fashion, and just ways to be empowered as women. And it's really important because as women, we need to support one another more. We need to lock arms with each other, help each other build, stop trying to be in competition with who we call our sister. And so, that's what God has given me. And so since 2018, started off as a radio show here in Chicago. A lot of people don't know that. With the passing of my grandfather, I had to transition into a live stream show. And here comes the announcement. Y'all ready? So I've been saying that I want us to be on Roku. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's make it happen. Then somebody that's on this panel, and I will not name names, was like, you need your channel. And so I am so happy to introduce the Boss TV network. Will be live on Roku next month. So excited. God couldn't tell me that I would have my own network. I'm still in awe of what he's doing. And when I tell you, I can't, I'm emotional because it's like, I was supposed to be a lawyer and eventually a judge. What the heck, this whole media thing? What is this, God? But when you trust in the Lord in all your ways and not lean towards your own understanding, he will indeed direct your path. And so as a consultant and publisher, it just makes sense for me to create the live stream show to be able to help my clients to monetize their genius and anybody else that wants to be on the network. And so today I was on a call with them and they're walking me through all this stuff. And I'm like, woo, Jesus. But he sent the help. When I tell you I have a squad behind me that's like, let's go, and I wouldn't even say behind, they're aside me because when I want to drop my arms down, they're lifting them up. So yes, the Boss TV network will be live next month. So Vault Talks will be on its own Roku channel along with so many other programs. Sharika's going to have her own show. Rika's going to have her own show. So I'm so excited what God's doing. And so we have to be intentional as entrepreneurs with our words. Our words are seeds. And we have to be mindful of the people that we're connecting with because you never know who has the capacity to bless what God has told you to do. And so let's talk about entrepreneurship as her ship. Where did this come from? As you guys know, we've been in a pandemic and a lot of entrepreneurs have been birthed throughout this pandemic. It has been so amazing to see how many people are breaking out and being business owners. And guess what? The majority of them are what? Women. So for me, I've been in full-time entrepreneurship since 2019. Was not my plan. The Lord showed me within a 72-hour period, look, child, it's time. And when I say, he said, look, child, it's time, It took 3 days, with the last thing being I was leaving church, told Siri to take me home, got turned around in Chicago from my church, looked up at a brownstone building that had this sign that said, "Fire your boss." That's all I needed to hear. And the rest has been history. So we're here talking about entrepreneurship being her ship. Yeah, Jennifer, that's man. There's more to that. Now, God showed me that in June of 2019. My butt was like, I'm comfortable with my check. Listen here, I know exactly when I get paid. And this bill. And so I stayed until September. And the Lord pricked me again, was like, it's time. And it ended up being in such a monumental time. I told my grandma, I'm like, I'm coming to visit y'all for 2 weeks. I got there on a Tuesday night. The Lord took my grandfather of a heart attack the next day. So I had to listen to what God was telling me. I would have missed all that. So that's that. But anyways, we're here. We're talking about entrepreneurship being her ship. And one of the things that's really important is for us to hear from other women how they do what they do. And so I was like, perfect, Christian, let's invite her on and let's hear her story on how she's changing the game, not just in entrepreneurship, and the pancake world.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, majorly. And she can tell you some of the moves that she's made in the pancake world alone, and how she can still make time for her family and still be that amazing mom. And I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we work in that 9-to-5 mindset. It's so hard to shift your mind into entrepreneurship. And so I wanted this platform tonight to just talk about entrepreneurship being her ship and how we can really shift and build what it is that God told us to build. We have to believe in it. And we also have to follow those pioneers like Christian, like Jennifer, like Sharika, like Rika, like Michaela, and other women that are a part of our tribe to be able to keep us accountable on this journey. So Christian, tell us a little bit about, one person asked the question on the panel. They're like, why pancakes? and they're like, okay, she could have done anything. I know why. I've heard your story, but tell us a little bit about how you got into the pancake industry. What does Vicky Cakes mean? Because, I know, but they don't know.
Okay, great. So, let me tell the story first, and in there I can unpack why pancakes really at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I am the youngest of 4. My mother is Vicky. So Vicky is not a random person, and I'm not Vicky. Everybody always calls me Vicky, even after they know my name is Christian. And I'm like, that's cool. You don't listen, but I'm going to still answer you. So I'm not Vicky. Vicky is my mom. She's a single mom of 4. And I say is because when I say was, people are like, oh, rest in peace. My mom is still alive and well. And so even though I'm an adult, I still say is because she's still my mom and I'm still the youngest. So she's a single mom of 4 who raised me and my siblings with one income. None of it was disposable. So every cent, every penny, every dime had a place to go. It wasn't out to eat. And my siblings and I didn't miss that. We didn't miss not being able to go to Denny's or IHOP or Jedi's or Bob Evans or Cracker Barrel because my mom was from the South. She's from Cleveland, Mississippi, raised by her grandmother, Alice Willie Cox, and she learned all of those Southern skills, like how to make something out of nothing. My mama can take a curtain and turn it into a whole comforter set, like real talk. She's talented. And that was the same thing with this pancake mix. My mom literally started making this pancake mix or created it out of necessity for having to feed a family of 4 or family of 5, 4 children and herself before I was born. So that's how the recipe is 40 plus years old. And I just turned 34. So it was around before I even was thought about. But she perfected this with basic pantry essentials, right? Like there was nothing extra to it. It was just what she had and figuring out the measurements for it to become a family favorite, a favorite of our friends. Like there are stories of our cousins coming over for the weekend. Mama decided to make biscuits and they was like, no, Auntie Vicky, where are them pancakes? Like, we not going back to the house without them. So she actually ended up having to make pancakes for dinner one time because she thought she was going to, get off and make biscuits. So this is like a staple. We grew up eating it. We grew up enjoying them. And I have such fond memories of sitting at our table and eating these and discussing, our week with my siblings while she was at the skillet cooking and fighting at the table and, doing all of that stuff. And it's funny because I got married at 21, had the recipe written down, but I never cooked it. So I had this recipe for all of these years, but at 21, you're not trying to make nothing from scratch. Like, the only thing that I wanted was a scratch off ticket. I didn't want no from scratch pancakes. So the crazy thing about it was I was making Bisquick. Like, I would buy Bisquick pancake mix for my husband and I would try to doctor it up to taste like my mom's recipe. And like, even that is a revelation because it's like, you can know what you should do. Like, you can have everything you need in your arsenal. You can have all the resources, all the information, but you still don't use it to your advantage. And you'll try to make something else become that very thing that you already have, and you find yourself struggling. And them pancakes was a struggle that I was making by Bisquick. Okay, let's be very clear. They were a struggle because they weren't the answer. So it wouldn't be until 2013 that we would go back to Indiana. My husband is from Mississippi, so let me say that when we got married in 2009, I moved from Gary, Indiana to Mississippi. So she's from Cleveland, moved to Gary at 19, then I got married at 21 and moved to Mississippi. So my husband and I went back to Indiana for Thanksgiving, and we're sitting at my mom's kitchen table. She's making these pancakes, right? He's never tasted them before. He doesn't even know what's about to happen in his life, okay? So I'm sitting there talking, my sister, my brother-in-law, my brother, we're just sitting there like normal because we're used to this. He tastes the pancakes for the first time, and he's like, Miss Vicky, these are some of the best pancakes I've ever had in my life. And I don't know what y'all doing, but y'all need to stop playing. Y'all should be selling these pancakes, and y'all should call them Vicky Cakes. So again, we're 2013, and we all laughed at him. Like, we thought it was so funny. We were like, oh no, Courtney. My mom was like, no, Courtney, I could never do that. I would end up giving them away. And I always like to say, my mom is in the ministry of donations and I'm in the ministry of deposits. So I wasn't starting no business and giving none away. So, we ate the pancakes, went on about our lives. We went back home to Mississippi, but ever so often my husband would always check back in. He would always be like, Christian, when you gonna stop playing and give the world these pancakes? Like, you need to start a business. Like, we need to do this. He's been an entrepreneur since 2010. So he already had that, that business acumen about himself. He knew how to, structure businesses and run a company and do all of those things. He was very innovative from the beginning with his hands, with his hard skills. But I didn't have that. I didn't desire it. I didn't hear the word entrepreneur until I was 22. Nobody had ever called it that. I knew people who had a business. I knew people who were hustlers, but nobody ever called it entrepreneurship where I was from. And so I eventually, I got a little warm with the idea, here and there. I would be like, no, Courtney, let's wait. I'm not ready. And then we moved to Texas. We moved to Texas in 2016, July of 2016. And we got here. And after so many years of watching Shark Tank, I mean, just watching and always pausing the TV and looking at each other and being like, if they can get a deal for that, what are we doing? Like, come on now. There's people out here getting deals for drawing cat cards and all kind of crazy stuff. And so, it always would come back up like, Christian, we should do Vicky Cakes. And I was like, no, be quiet. That's not what we're doing. And so I didn't want to do it. And so he asked again. And I was like, well, we got a son now. Let's wait until he's in school. Like, I can't run a business while he's in school. While he's so little. So I always had an excuse for why I didn't want to do it. And then finally, in 2019, I remember so vividly sitting on our bedroom floor. And I don't know what it was, at that moment, that day, he was at work. And I was a stay-at-home mom at this point. So I've been a stay-at-home mom since 2016, and then I thrust myself back into the work environment with Vicky Cakes. But I was at home with our son, And I was sitting at home on the floor and I was like, we're going to do it. I'm ready to do Vicky Cakes. So I looked it up online. I started looking up the pancake industry online. This is where it went from an idea. Before I spoke it out to anybody else, I wanted to just look at the landscape. Like, I didn't do no hardcore research that day, but I looked at two things. Who was the top competitor? Who was the top manufacturer in the pancake and the breakfast industry, and what the profit of it was. Like, what was the industry standard and the projections for the growth. And I saw Aunt Jemima, well, Quaker was the number one, and Aunt Jemima is the top brand for them. And at the time, I think Aunt Jemima was doing like over 3 billion, somewhere between 3 and 5 billion a year in sales. And they accounted for over 90% of pancake consumption, like globally. Their brand is everywhere, like overseas, other countries, continents, everything. They are the leaders in the industry. And so at that point, I was like, that's Goliath and I'm David, okay? And Vicky Cakes about to be my whole rock and slingshot, but we taking them out. So I had already configured it again, like before I even call my husband or say anything to anybody, I had figured all of that out in like a 30-minute time span. So the next thing I did was I called my mom. I was sitting on my floor and I was talking to her and I said, Mom, would you be okay if we were to turn Vicky Cakes into a business? Like, would I have your blessing to turn Vicky Cakes into a business? And she said, yeah. She said, go ahead, do it. She said, I actually got more recipes I want to give you. I said, well, wait a minute. We're going to do this one first. Okay, let's start here and then we'll move on. And so she was so excited, you know, but again, I say to this day, I don't think that she thought that she knew it was going to do what it has done in such a short time. And so I didn't go over everything that I had found during my Google studies, you know, just 30 minutes prior to our phone call. But after I got her blessing, we talked for about another hour or so. And then when we got the phone, I called my husband. And he was the last person I was going to call for two reasons, okay? The first reason was it was going to be an I told you so moment. Yep. And I ain't got time for that energy, so I had to prepare myself. But he was the last person I called. Well, yeah, yes. So I didn't want to hear the I told you so, but the second thing was I knew that when I told him, he was going to be all in. Like, I wasn't going to be able to go back. I wasn't going to be able to talk myself out of anything. So I wanted to make sure I came correct because he like literally does this for a living. My husband works in branding and web development and graphic design. He's an award-winning graphic designer and he's self-taught. Like, he has no formal degree of education. He went to school for music and taught himself how to build websites and build graphics. And he worked for Frito-Lay professionally, right, as a designer. So he know his stuff, and I knew I wasn't going to play with this man's time. So I told him, and the first thing he said to me was, don't play with my emotions. And I said, I'm serious. I'm ready to do Vicky Cakes. So from that, I think that conversation was like in February of 2019, and we launched Vicky Cakes on Mother's Day of 2019 in May. So from concept to consumer, it was about a 3 to 4 month time span in between there. But that was how quick we took the idea and turned it into what America now knows, you know, as one of the top Black-owned pancake mixes out there. But it has been a journey. And so that's why pancakes, because pancakes literally became like, it was the heart. It was the heart of our family table. And now it's my heart that I pour into every day. It's something that keeps me going. And it's a passion because of my mom and because of our family legacy.
Listen, isn't that amazing? Hold on. You got to share what you shared. I forgot where I heard you talking about this. Isn't it accurate that you kind of pushed to where Aunt Jemima is no longer on a box?
Yeah. That kind of just sent chills through me, child. That kind of just sent chills through me. So I think this was a catalyst for me that let me know what we were doing was meant to be done, and B, that all things are possible for those who believe, right? Like, don't sleep on who you are, powerful wise. Like, don't sleep on who you are, power wise. Sometimes people take scripture and they take, scripture text to say that we'll do greater works than our Father did, right? They take that in vain. They don't really understand that every power that works in God, our Father, works in us if we're believers, right? And even if you're not a believer, that power works in you if you believe that it's possible. And from day one, when I got my mama's blessing to do Vicky Cakes as a business, I started saying from that day, we're replacing Aunt Jemima. We're not going to be behind them on the shelves. We're not going to be above them or beneath them, but they're not going to exist at all. Aunt Jemima will no longer be on shelves because I found out the story. So before America found out who Aunt Jemima was, the caricature, the imagery that they used to sell to our demographic to make us believe it was Black owned, before that, I did my research and I knew. And from that day, I said, this is disturbing. I am disappointed. This is cultural appropriation. It is wrong, and they need to be removed, right? Because I didn't like it. I didn't like that we could be sold something under the guise of it being represented to us, for us, by us. And so I thought to myself, if they can do that and make billions of dollars from the imagery of Blackness and what it is to have good food and recipes and families together, I can give America a real woman with a real recipe and a real family and a real legacy, right? So that was my whole energy behind it. And I started speaking it. I started speaking it with my mouth, and I believed it in my heart, and I accepted it as a reality. From day one, I would be on phone calls, like business calls, and I would be like, yeah, we're going to be the number one pancake mix in America, and we're replacing Aunt Jemima. And people would just be silent on the phone, but I didn't care, right? Because like they say, your calling was not a conference call. My calling was not a conference call. My calling was to do what I'm doing now. And it came through my husband having a vision, but then me taking that vision and making it all the more plain for where we are today. And so when I accepted that calling, I accepted it without repentance, without being apologetic. I'm unapologetic about it because I understand the assignment is greater than me. And I started speaking that. We're replacing Aunt Jemima. They gone, it's over with. Well, 2020 rolls around, right? And I wake up in June now, and again, let me preface this by saying, in May, we got an email from ABC. I thought it was fake. I thought it was a whole scam in my inbox. And I was like, I don't have time for this today, Satan. You will not play with me and my coin, okay? But it was an email from ABC with the subject line, Good Morning America and Vicky Cakes ABC opportunity. And I'm like, I was driving. I was at a red light when I checked my email, and I'm like, nope, not today. So I just closed my inbox. Like, I didn't even read it. And when I got home, I told my husband about it. And he was like, well, forward it to me. Long story short, it really was ABC, and we really did go on Good Morning America, right? But that email came in May. Now, I had no idea, and the world had no idea, that Quaker would announce that they were rebranding Aunt Jemima because of its racial stigma, because of its deeply rooted, background, cultural appropriation, if you will, branding and marketing efforts. Well, that was already set up with Good Morning America to go on national TV weeks before that it was announced. I wake up maybe 2 weeks after GMA reached out to an inbox for one of our customers saying, hey, check out this article. And it was an article that at that point was everywhere. Everybody was talking about it. But I was sleeping, had no idea that this news had broke, that Quaker announced the rebranding and the removal of Aunt Jemima from all of its branding and marketing. Now, in 2019, when I spoke it from my mouth that we were replacing them and they would be removed, that's what that looks like. It's the power of power. Now, Pearl Milling coexists, right? But Aunt Jemima doesn't. Aunt Jemima is gone. Now, people can still hold on to the box that they want to for kicks and giggles or for, little trinkets, but I know what it was that I was shown. I knew that we weren't going to sit on the shelf next to Aunt Jemima. We sit on the shelf. Pearl Milling Co. may be there, but she's not. that brand isn't there, right? Vicky Cakes isn't sharing space with someone who's culturally appropriating production and manufacturing and branding. So you have to come out and be truthful about who you are and what you do. And instead of using other imagery to do that, just be authentic in who you are and what it is you represent. And so when they announced that on a Thursday, I remember ABC, the one of the producers from the show from GMA called us because we were in heavy communication with them up until this point. She called and she was like, "Hey, can you guys go on tomorrow?" Now Friday was going to be Juneteenth, right? This is during all of the social injustice and unrest, and people were livid about these companies. Uncle Ben was removed. Everybody got free from Fox in 2020. Okay, they were playing. They was playing in our faces, and they got corrected. So ABC noticed it, and they wanted to move our segment up by a whole week. And I was like, "Ain't no way I can like produce all the products you guys want me to have in 36 hours, essentially." But they wanted to place our brand literally like right there. Like Quaker announces this Thursday, let's get you guys on TV Friday. Like they wanted to spin the narrative. And I was totally fine with it. We tried to make it work, but we couldn't because the payment processor we were going to be using, PayPal, was going to be closed for business on Juneteenth. So we still had to keep our Tuesday air date, which wasn't a problem for me because we still went on Tuesday, that following Tuesday, and sold over 154,000 products in one day. So God was still good. He still showed up. Aunt Jemima still ain't on that box. And we still out here in these streets today, bringing families to the table.
Yes, right. Do y'all see why I said I had to have Christian on for Entrepreneurship is Her Ship? That's what I'm talking about. Understanding who you are, understanding the vision, not being shaken nor stirred on what you see, really trusting in the Lord with all your heart and not leaning to any understanding but what the Lord is telling you, okay? And that whole Jeremiah 29, knowing that your plans are for a greater thing. And I love this. And her story is so amazing because it's something that lets you know anybody who has a dream, who pursues passion, who understands purpose, can have exactly what it is that God said that you can have, period. End of story. And so the fact that God will align your vision with other people and what it is, I mean, that is just divine. And so I'm excited. I took some notes and I know that the ladies have some questions, and I'm just thankful that you're sharing this. It's inspirational. You said something, Christian, that I said to someone today. I was out to breakfast with a friend of mine, and we were talking. And what God has been showing me lately is like, I will lose something temporarily only for me to find it. And God is like, you have possession of it. You have possession of it. You have possession of it. You just keep placing it in spaces that it's not supposed to be, but you have possession of it. And so a lot of times we feel like we don't have possession of things, but God has already has given it to us, or we're sitting on it because we're scared to leap out there and to take action on what it is that he has shown us. That's way too big. I'm simply this, and all these words that come along and try to really take us and shift us in a whole direction. And God's like, no, you're up and you're it, And so I know, Sharika, you had some questions, and I know Rika had some questions too. One of the things I want to say to you, Christian, thank you for your story. Thank you for being so down to earth. People who, with your recognition and what you've accomplished, some people be like, well, Thought Talks doesn't have enough followers for me to come and share my story. And I love that. One of the things that God had to tell me about this platform when I created it 4 years ago, he said, I'm in this. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. So you can take your hand straight up out of it and let me do what I'm going to do. And I had to realize it's not about numbers. It's about impact. It's about people listening, somebody's baby leaping right now because they've tuned in to watch and listen, and the replays, and 5 years from now and 10 years from now and 20 years from now, when people listen to this, that's all it is that people need to hear what it is that we go through as women to be able to be all that we are, because this is a women focused platform. So I had to understand it ain't about viewership. And people be like, well, yes, it is. No, it's not. This is ministry. People needed to hear exactly what you had to say, because there's women who are sitting on the edge, want to leap into entrepreneurship, and they're in their heads, like deep, way deep in their heads, creating a narrative that doesn't even exist. And a lot of times we do that because of what we've been through and what we've been told. And so thank you for coming on this platform and just spilling it, being funny as I don't know what. That's one thing. Your sense of humor is just, it's so funny to me. But thank you, and you're welcome anytime you want to come back to Vault Talks. So one of the questions that someone has asked is, did you have people who told you it couldn't be done?
No, I didn't have people who said it couldn't be done, but sometimes people don't have to say it, right, for you to know that they doubted. And I'll say this: the doubt didn't come until after it was established and out there, because I'm one of those kind of people. My mom always told me, specifically as a kid, because I loved to share. Like I couldn't hold water as a kid. I would tell if I found my siblings' birthday gifts, they knew what they had before their birthday. You gonna learn today? Because I'm gonna tell you. I always wanted to share. I'm a sharer. So she used to always have to tell me as a kid, let people see you with it. Like, don't feel the need to tell people, because anything can happen where something falls through, it doesn't go as planned or whatever, and you don't want to have to explain yourself, right? Wow. And some people simply just don't need to know certain things. And I always heard that. She always told me that as a child, let people see you with it. And so we started this business. It was the same way. I didn't do no countdown on social media, like 5 days to something big. No, you just found out Vicky Cakes happened on the day that Vicky Cakes dropped. Like, it was just that simple, right? Oh. Because sometimes people will, and I'm not gonna say sometimes, but majority of people will hold you in the box that they are used to seeing you in. Ooh. And from that can make you feel uncomfortable. If they're not liking or sharing or commenting or encouraging you, that will make you be a little bit more slowful to actually act on things.
Yeah. So
if you revoke people's power to make you feel less than about what it is you know you're meant to do, then they don't have access to kind of, throw friction into the process. So people didn't start having, if you will, adverse reactions to it until it was already a business, until it was already an LLC, until it was already established with a website, right? Until there were already orders. You can't do anything about this because it's already here. So you can't throw salt in the game or say, well, is that really her mama recipe? And it came from within, and it came through my mother's involvement with people, because I make it very difficult for people to have access to me who I know already don't have the same kind of spirit that I carry. I'm very stingy with access. Okay. I'll do forums like this because this is empowering. I'm talking to people who are ready to make moves and to take action and need empowerment, not people who want to keep discussing the same things that they haven't changed and just want an audience. That's what it's time.
Come on.
Right? So if you're looking for a cheerleader, that's a different game. But if you want someone to actually push you and help you and walk hand in hand with you, that can happen over here all day. So it came through another source, which was my mother, doubt in her, her friends not, encouraging her. And then she would share that with me. And then her people that she go to church with, acting funny after they saw us on TV. Ma, let me call you back, because that ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay, I'm packing these orders, sis. I'm a deposit coming, okay? And now I'm gonna get off the phone. Because see, what we're not gonna do is cloud up my energy. Well, I am in the process of living this, like walking it out. So sometimes it doesn't come in the form of people telling you what can't be done as much as it is people not believing that they're watching it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, woo. Mic drop. Listen, Jennifer, I see your engagement within this conversation. You have a question you want to ask or comment, or I see.
Oh no, yeah. You see me, I'm eating this up. Like, I love your story. I love how authentic you are, true to yourself. And the whole, I'm gonna share this. The whole idea about protecting your energy, that's a big deal. I'm so in line with that. And I can't stand folks, I'll be honest, nobody here, but like this whole low vibration, low frequency, high frequency, and all this stuff. Like, there's some people that have some messed up frequencies out there, right? Like, so, and I'm going to share this recently. I came across someone who's an entrepreneur who claimed she loved God. And that loving God was a whole different definition of what loving God was, right? But I'm listening to you and I'm hearing you talk about the death and life and the power of the tongue. And I'm hearing you talk about scripture. And I'm here like, I can feel it in my spirit that you can be successful and be a Christian woman.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing non-Christian women talking about putting Christian women down, Christian entrepreneurs down.
Yeah.
And I hear it all the time. And I'm sitting here like, wait, I have a powerful God. Why can't I be successful? Why can't I be a multimillionaire? Why can't I do this? Why is it that because we're faith-based, we have to be low frequency? Like that right there, you're an example for so many women. And I've even come across it. So thank you for sharing your message, because this is really good confirmation.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And to speak to that, because I was raised in holiness, right? My mom became an ordained evangelist in '97, and so it wasn't much that got past her. My mom is a prophetess. My mother, like, literally is she's a full-fledged woman of God, plays no games. My mama don't even wear pants. I ain't never seen mama in pants. Do you hear me? If it get cold, she just put on 2 skirts. It's real. All right? She don't play. So when it comes to people who have that mindset about Christians and believers, a lot of times we have been sold that the only thing, or we've been taught that the only thing we should seek is holiness and righteousness, but nothing else should be a demonstration of God's power in our lives. And that's the thing about it. The light of who we are, if we're going to be salt and light in the earth, you actually have to be visible. Like, nobody would be able to taste or see your goodness if you weren't actually bearing fruit worth them eating. So if I'm going to be a tree for God, right? If I'm going to be a light for Christ, if I'm going to draw people, I need to actually be present in where those people are. I need to actually have impact in the spaces that those people occupy. And usually it's not around other people who have a dead mindset, or they are double-minded, or they feel like everybody needs to be competing for such and such attention. I don't have time to play with you, be it in church or out of church. I know my calling. I know that I'm edifying the God that's in me. I know that if there's a mission, I can't get to that. I can't reach it, if you will, if I'm always trying to convince you that we're both supposed to be taking this route. Somebody got to go. Right? So I'm not just going to be out here trying to pack up everybody's stuff and lug it all. Somebody just has to be their representation. And if people have a problem with us, like actually being successful and pulling people in and actually being effective in what it is we're called to do, which is win souls or to influence people to do the right thing and live right, then that's going to be their burden. That's their burden of proof to have to explain why they chose that route or why they judge people like us for this. But ain't nothing about me low vibrational. Ain't nothing about me on a low frequency. All right, because we're high. You have to fly high in order to reach the things that are for you, but also to impact others. So every day of my life, I seek to serve. Like, I'm not trying to find ways to edify self. I am so happy when I'm packing orders. Like, there's nothing that's beneath me. I don't require anything from my team members, employees. I don't require anything from them that I don't do or haven't done myself. I've done every part of my company's process. I still do it. I was just packing orders and filling bottles of syrup yesterday. Okay, so don't let the lipstick and the makeup fool you. I go to work. All right, because it matters. Like showing up in every area matters, because people do feel like they get to a point in their career, in their journey, where they don't have to be accountable, where they no longer, have to be the person that they started out as. Nothing changes the fact that this is not about me. It's not, right? And so the more I take a back seat to it, but I'm also authoritative in my approach. It connects better with people. And I did in the beginning. I tried to be like other brands. I looked up other brand stuff. If you scroll down the thousands of pictures that we done posted on Instagram, we started out our grid perfect, right? Like, make sure all the brand colors look the same. And I was on my husband's neck, like, make this graphic and remove that. Now I don't care, right? No. I don't care what it looks like, because this is authentic to who we are and what we represent, everyday people who really have a desire to just put out what it is that they enjoy and they love. And so when you meet people like that, who claim to be one thing, but their actions don't line up to it, just unplug, disconnect, right? Like, shut them off like they didn't pay their water bill. You don't have to be around it. You don't have to keep seeing it.
I love this.
Keep seeing whatever they posting.
No, and you know what? We had questions for you, and I feel like they went out the window because you're just so transparent. We don't have to ask questions. It's just like we're all like having a sister circle conversation, and we are just, all connected. And that's what sisterhood should be like. That's what, women that are like-minded, we should be able to have these conversations, and it just feels authentic because it is authentic. There's no hidden motives. There's no agendas. There's nobody be like, oh my God. No, like, we're sitting here all together, all on our own journey, all on our own path. And the thing that we have that's similar is that we all serve the same God. That's what I'm talking about. And just being encouraged by the word and the scriptures. And if he did it for one, he can do it for all of us. And so that's what's empowering about this conversation, and just understanding that you have the power to shift your ship, but which way are you steering? Who do you have on your boat? And that's what's important. And I know for me, 2018 was the year I was serving people eviction notices, and I was doing it the wrong way. And I can say that now. You can serve people an eviction notice without serving them an eviction notice. Or with an explanation, to be able for you to be around the right people so you can soar in the different directions that God has for you to go. And for me, I just realized I had a whole lot of dead weight around me, and it wasn't conducive to what God has showed me. I'm gonna go real quick because I want to be mindful of time. Because we can talk to you all night. We can all talk to each other all night. And you got a whole family. All you guys got kids except for me. And I praise the Lord every day for that right there. Hallelujah. Glory be. He can keep them in heaven. Yes, Jesus. All right. So Sharika, I think we answered some of your questions. Rika, I know you ain't, I'm sure you're full. They've been praising God in this chat. When you go back and look, Christian, we've been having a whole conversation with you in this chat. Just like, hallelujah, praise God. I love that. That's awesome. Yes, this is it. And the viewers are loving the conversation. And so one of the things that I would love to hear from you is for you to empower women who have not leaped into entrepreneurship as of yet. And for you to say something to them that speaks to their baby that's wanting to be birthed, but there's some obstacle that they might not even know that's within them, that's stopping them, giving them resistance that is not allowing them to birth. So thinking about women in entrepreneurship, and for those who have the concepts and the ideas to do it, but just haven't leaped yet, what would you say to them?
Oh, my goodness. If you don't start, if you don't do what it is that you are holding on to, somebody else is going to be stagnant because of your lack of action. Somebody's story, somebody's journey is going to be a little bit harder or going to last a little bit longer because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not answering your calling. I have seen it for myself time and again where there have been connections made, doors open, opportunities presented to people because I did what I was supposed to do with the pancake mix, right? Every time I'm obedient, that's an opportunity for someone else to actually do what it is they're meant to do, whether it's a publicist, right? Whether it's a marketing agency, whether it's a branding company or a food service provider, they're able to do what they're supposed to do and what they are called to do because I'm doing what I'm called to do. So everything that you're overthinking right now is actually already planned out. It just requires action. When I think about it, and I use this analogy often, when you see doors, automatic doors at a grocery store, you don't go to Walmart and you just see the doors opening and closing with nobody walking towards them. They only open when there is motion towards them, right? So if you're going to make doors open, you actually have to be in motion towards those doors. You actually have to be making the steps towards what it is you say you desire to do, because they have no reason to open for you if you don't go to them. I can't go to my room door when I get done and just expect it to open for me. That's not what's going to happen. I have to take action. I have to have a plan. I have to take steps. I have to have expectation. So you thinking about it too hard actually makes nothing else take place, but more thoughts, more excuses, more reasons for why you shouldn't be doing it or what will stand in your way. But think about all the things that will go right once you say yes.
You know
Once
what?
I said yes, so much went right. Yeah.
I'm done with you. I'm so done with you. You keep saying two words and I'm mind blown because for the past couple of years, I seek God around somewhere within the fourth quarter and I ask him, what's the word for the next year? What's the word for the next year? And he told me that this is the year to take action. If I can go back and listen to how many times you've said that throughout this show, I need to sow into your Cash App ministry. Because that's it right there. If we don't take action, there's no reaction. If we don't take action, then we can't connect to the other people. And what God shows me is that a lot of people want to connect with us, but we're not in the right places and spaces to be available. And it's not just physically, it's mentally as well. And so you talking, listen, ladies, we're going to have Christian back. Can we get a consensus? Yes. Yes.
I want some pancakes. I want to try those
Absolutely.
pancakes.
Yeah, I
I'm
want
about
some
to order
pancakes
me
now.
some. For real.
Yeah, I definitely want to try the pancake.
Listen, I found them because in the Chicagoland area, they're in Jewel Osco, and you can share wherever else they are. I literally took a picture and inboxed them to her like, I got my bag, sis. Because when and people probably thought I was crazy because when I found them in the aisle, I was, whoa, oh my God, we're here! I'm taking pictures and people looking around like, what the
It's
hell
just
going
pancakes.
on? They just pancakes. And I'm like, no, they're not. I'm all excited. I got my bag. I'm geeked. And so, and there's different flavors. Can you talk about that? There's different pancake mixes that you make, and listen, and you're a vegan. Listen, talk about different pancake mixes that you have available. Where can we find you, and where can we find the cakes?
Okay, yeah. So we're a vegan friendly product. Everything is vegan friendly except for chocolate chips. And I like to just give people like some comfort, because when they hear vegan, they be like, I don't do that. I don't do vegan. Listen,
Oh, right.
okay. Strawberries are vegan. All right. Apples, vegan. Okay. It's all right. Your rolls, your dinner rolls, vegan. All right. So these are all vegan products, and sometimes we just feel as if though it means we can't have anything good. It's vegan friendly because there are no milk products or egg products in the packaging. So there are no animal derived products in the bag.
Yeah.
You can add whatever your heart desires. Yes. So I was very adamant about wanting to make it unlike anything else on the market, because when you do go into a market in an industry that is already booming, you want to have something that makes you different and stand out. And so that was something we did not want to be another add water only mix. We wanted to make sure that we catered to more than just the dairy community, but with the huge boost and the boom of the lifestyle for dairy-free vegans, they can also enjoy our products. And we also include the vegan instructions and measurements. So we tell you how to use applesauce to replace egg, you know, how to make your own vegan buttermilk. All of that is on the back of the packaging, which no other brand does either. Okay. We have time. And so we're just all about educating the consumer and making it a great experience from beginning to end. So we have the original, which is my mom's original recipe, the OG, which sells like crazy. Oh my gosh, it is insane how much of the original that we sell. But the original, which is the base for all of our other mixes, we do have pecan, which has real pecans in the bag. We have blueberry, which has real dried blueberries in the packaging. None of the sugar crystals that have been dyed blue and falsely flavored. We don't do that. We have the real things in the bag. So we have real products, premium ingredients in there. And then for the chocolate chips, we have real milk chocolate chips in those, which we will be completely phasing out the milk chocolate chips by the end of the summer. And we will have the Enjoy Life, which is a dairy-free chocolate chip. And our mix is making our entire product line vegan. And then we have syrup. We have our original syrup and our caramel syrup, which are also dairy-free, vegan-friendly, no artificial flavors. No.
Oh, y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Mute my mic.
Yeah, mute your mic, boo. We can hear all your yeah.
No artificial flavors, colors, preservatives, dyes, or sweeteners in our syrup either. High fructose corn syrup is banned in the UK, and that's all I needed to know that I wasn't even going to try to put that in our products over here. So that's another differentiator for our syrups as well. So we're all about really being a better alternative, not just being a pancake mix, but being one of the best on the market that actually cares about what's in it, cares about who's selling it and promoting it to you. And we also care about your family actually being able to safely enjoy something that really is one of the favorite breakfast items of all time. So that's Vicky Cakes and what we offer. And then you can buy us if you're in the Chicagoland area, like Takara. We are in 156 Jewel Osco grocery stores. And we are also on Amazon.com, Walmart.com. We have our own website, VickyCakesOnline.com, and we're in about 55 small format grocery stores across the U.S. So there are some smaller grocers that have our products as well. We have a map locator on our website where you can just go to that map and see, what city we're in. And we recently just launched in New York on the GoPuff app. I don't know if you guys are familiar with GoPuff, but it's an app that you can get stuff delivered in 30 minutes or less to your home. So we just launched in the 24 NYC cities. Well, no, it's more than 24 cities, but we're in 24 distribution centers for GoPuff in New York. And everybody in New York can order us in 30 minutes or less and get it straight to the door. So we're excited about all the expansion and the growth there with more to come.
Listen, on the behalf of all the women that are a part of Vault Talks Women Share, thank you. We're proud of you. We're celebrating with you. We all about to go buy some pancakes in some shape or form, okay? We supporting Vicky Cakes. We would love to have you back this is the year that we're doing a lot of different things. So I'm really excited that I finally reached out, and because I reached out when I was getting ready to start the podcast, and my dad is in recovery. He had open heart surgery and he stroked during the procedure. And so just life happening. I'm like, hold on the podcast, hold on the show. Let me be strategic. And so I was like, entrepreneurship is her ship. Let's go. It's we couldn't have asked for a better welcome back show than to have you on here with us. We thank you so much for leaping out, because there's other women who now can do exactly what they need to do because you're doing what you're called to do. And we celebrate that here at Vault Talks Women Share. And so I would love, I'm gonna reach back out to your assistant. There are some things that I would love to send you on the behalf of thanking you for being a part of our show tonight. I don't play. We honor you, you know, as a woman that's doing major things and changing the world, not just the pancake world, but just the world as a whole. And so, listen, next week's show, everybody, super excited. We haven't done a fun fashion for real segment since the radio show. So it's been since 2019. And my girl is going to teach you guys how to thrift shop in style. When I tell you her looks are super fly, and some of her stuff comes from the Goodwill, you wouldn't even believe me. But my girl Shannon gonna be a part of the tribe next week, and we're excited. And so again, we thank you. We honor you guys for tuning in, whether it's live or on the replay. And this has been the first episode of season 4, and we are excited. So thank you so much. And we're out. Ladies, don't go anywhere. Peace out, hair grease, and we're out.